How's it going, YouTube? Most Sports Network here tonight with a sort of a late night football talk. Usually these videos come out in the afternoon, but this one's gonna come out pretty late tonight. So hopefully, if you guys are staying up late, um, there's here's something for you to do during that. If you're not doing anything in particular, have a sleep schedule that's still all messed up. Tonight we're gonna be talking about the New England Patriots. A casual sit down talking about them in my NFL power rankings. They are my number 22 team, which I understand is ludicrous to put them that low. Um, but I just don't trust their roster. Why the Patriots are this high to begin with is the coaching staff, which is where we always start. Bill Belichick, greatest football coach of all time, arguably. I'm not even sure if it's arguable at this point. He is an insane defensive coach. Patriots don't even have a defensive coordinator this year officially. Um, with Belichick here, he's the defensive play caller. He's excellent. Then you have Josh McDaniels here, also proven to be a very solid offensive coordinator here for New England, and I think his offense can continue, at least as a coach. He has proven to be solid, although this will be his first season in New England without Tom Brady full time, so we'll see how that one goes. But not much to say here. Bill Belichick's the GOAT as far as coaches are concerned, so they're rated super highly for me as far as coach goes. Although this is he did have Drew Bledsoe, but this is his first season in a long time since he won his first Super Bowl without Tom Brady. So that's a thing to look out for. So we go into the roster right away. We have Cam Newton coming in. He's been coming off injury after injury after injury. Can he stay healthy this year? I was a big Cam Newton fan when he won the MVP and went to the Super Bowl, and if he can return to that form, I mean, I'll be a little upset, just given what the Patriots are. But I am sort of a Cam Newton fan. Some of the things he does rubs me the wrong way, like the routes comment and whatnot. Um, as far as his play goes, I think ever since that MVP season, I think his play's only gone down. But I think Cam still has the potential to be a top half of the league quarterback, and I don't think that's a stretch by any means at all. Um, if Cam goes down, it's a lot of unknowns. You have Brian Hoyer, who's kind of been a career backup since he left the Browns. You have Brian Lewerke, also out of Michigan State, and he's stinks. I don't know why he's even on the team. And then Jared Stidham was supposed to be the starter before this team signed Cam. I don't know how they feel about him. Allegedly, they think highly of him, but Cam Newton's the starter, obviously, as of now. I think if Cam goes down, from what I've heard about Stidham, I think he could be able to step up and be fine, but who knows? Then you go to running back. Running back has not been super inspiring for this team by any means. They have Sony Michel, who came out of Georgia and hasn't been that good so far. I mean, as far as the Patriots' backfield goes, it's really just backed by committee. All four of these guys are probably going to get pretty even carries from what I can determine. I think any week, any four of them. I mean, Michelle is out for the moment, but the three of these guys could just split carries, and either any one of them could have the most carries. So kind of hard to project the Patriots' backfield. James White seems like he's been here forever. Rest of the guys here, they're serviceable backs, but they don't have any star backs either. I wouldn't really put any of these guys even in my top 20 backs in the league. I'm not sure. So there's that on the Patriots running backs. Then receiver is also a bit of a question mark. I mean, you always have Julian Edelman here. He's great. He is getting older, but he was Tom Brady's safety net, and I think he could be that for Cam Newton as well. Then there's a lot of question marks otherwise around here. N'Keal Harry's kind of stunk his rookie season. Didn't do too much for the team, but he's been pretty hyped up this year, especially fantasy football wise. So hopefully he can come in and be that second wide receiver. I loved him coming out of the draft. I was super high on him. I had the Ravens taking him over Hollywood Brown, who's my second best receiver under DK in that draft. Um, so I'm pretty high on N'Keal Harry. I was, but I didn't like what I saw from him last year at all. Then Mohamed Sanu is a decent um, third guy. I think that's what he is primarily. Um, in Cincinnati, he was second to AJ Green and Marvin Jones, and he goes to Atlanta, and he's kind of second to Julio Jones, and then eventually Calvin Ridley, although I think it was a pretty close competition between those two at first, and I think he comes in here probably as the second guy, unless N'Keal Harry can really step up. Um, but Mohamed Sanu is a solid receiver. He's had a good career so far, so I have nothing against Mohamed Sanu. Um, I think he's a decent receiver. Then the rest of these guys, there's a reason a lot of these guys are not really heard of. Guys like Demir Bird, Jacoby Myers, Gunnar, Olszewski. These are like classic guys that your casual football fan isn't really gonna know. Um, and they're guys who will perform for the Patriots. I don't know which one's gonna perform for them. Um, but one of these guys could come out of nowhere and be their Nick Hogan or Julian Edelman or Danny Amendola type out of these guys. I don't really have a guess for who that's going to be, but I assume one of them is going to come out and be decent. And then a question comes up here. Julian Edelman, is he the best receiver Cam Newton's played with? He's had a little bit of DJ Moore, although not much. And then he's also had prime Kelvin Benjamin. Are either of those guys better than Julian Edelman? I'm not sure right now. But there is definitely a conversation that Cam has one of the stronger receiver core he's ever had here. Um, I'm not sure if I'd say that necessarily, especially just because Edelman's getting older and not playing with Brady anymore. They don't have the same rapport, Cam and Edelman together. So we'll see. And then also tight ends. This is a bit of a scary position. You have two rookies in the first two spots in Devin Asiasi and Dalton Keene. Then behind them, you have Ryan Izzo and Jake Burt. So I think probably coming out of the box this season, this will be probably one of the weakest tight end groups in the league. Just because tight end has a steep learning curve, you have to learn a lot of blocking assignments along with learning the offense and being open for catches and whatnot. So don't really like their tight ends off the bat. I think 3 years down the line they could have something really good here in these two, but not, I'm just not sure yet. And then you look at the offensive line. The four guys you have here, you have Wynn, Thuney, Andrews, Mason, all really quality guys. They've proven to be solid offensive linemen, and I think they'll continue to play as solid offensive linemen. And then at right tackle, you have Corey Cunningham replacing Marcus Cannon. I think he's probably going to be the weak link of this offense, although knowing the Patriots, he'll probably be ready to go. I'm never worried about a Patriots offensive line. I'm not sure if this one's going to be one of the great ones by any means, especially without Marcus Cannon, but I don't think it's going to be an issue for this team either. So overall, it's just sort of underwhelming in a lot of places. But the Patriots offense has never been known for having incredible offenses just because Tom Brady's there, and Tom Brady can kind of bail that out because he's such a smart player, very precise. He's incredibly smart, and he can just maneuver a pocket. I can talk about how great Tom Brady is all day, but I'll save that for the Bucks video. So I'll stop gushing about him. But the real question is, can Cam Newton take Brady's spot? We saw Brady get a bit of a decline last season. Can Cam Newton play above where that is? That's the real question, I think, for if this offense can succeed. So now we go on to the defense, and I am slightly more concerned, to be honest, and it's because of all of the opt-outs that are featured on this team. Donta Hightower, huge loss. Patrick Chung, pretty big loss. But we'll get into the whole thing. So looking at defensive line, I think Lawrence Guy is a pretty solid one interior lineman. Neither of these guys are going to be real pass rushers. Any of these guys, John Simon, Adam Butler, more just sort of bodies, nothing to be too excited about. I think Lord's guy's the strongest on this front three. Um, I'm not too high on any of them, and I don't think that's a strength of this team by any means. Um, then you go to the edge rushers, or guys you would classify as edge rushers, and again, it's pretty weak. You got Chase Winovich, who is technically your most productive and best guy on the pass rush. That's pretty concerning, considering Chase Winovich was not a very high draft pick at all. Let me remember where he was drafted. Again, 5.5 sacks last season. It doesn't say what round he was drafted. Maybe if I full screen it. Yeah, he was a third round pick out of Michigan. So again, not inspiring too much confidence as your feature pass rusher by any means. Um, and then the linebackers as well. You have Cash Maluia replacing Donta Hightower. He's like hardly played in the league. If we take a look here at his stats, again, nothing as far as stats go. And he has to come in and replace such a quality defender like Donta Hightower. That's a tough task to handle. Along with Jawan Bentley, who again isn't that known of a linebacker either. Last season, 29 tackles, but no major stats for the Patriots. So the linebacking group is a big unknown, if not weak. The pass rush, you can take a look at Brandon Copeland too. He has a sack and a half on here at a Penn. Like he's 29, has never really done much, and you're gonna have trying to have him replace what Kyle Van Noy did for you last year. That's concerning as well. Or I guess Chase Winovich would be playing in that spot, um, but still, you're losing the production of Donta Hightower and Kyle Van Noy with Chase Winovich and Brandon Copeland. Um, yeah, which I don't like. And then you look at other players. You draft Josh Uche and Anthony Jennings. I don't know why Anthony Jennings is buried that deep. He might have opted out and I didn't notice. This team had a lot of opt outs. Um, it looks right now that he's playing. Oh, there's the trailer for him, of course. But they're two potential solid pass rushers to come in the future and be good. Another guy I was high on coming out of college is Shalik Calhoun, and he's on this team. I think he can um, revive his career, but again, he's been disappointing thus far, and the Patriots are a team to go to defensively to revitalize your career, but he's been pretty disappointing so far, and he's behind Chase Winovich. So again, I'm low on the pass rush. I'm low on pretty much every spot on this team. And then we go to the secondary, where I'm finally kind of high on a spot. Now, the McCourty brothers are both very old for corners, or corner and safety. I still think Jason will be a quality corner. I think he'll get the job done. And then Stephon Gilmore is the best corner in the league. So that has to count for something. So high there on the corner spot. Also, J.C. Jackson is a decent third slash slot guy, depending who plays what. So solid third guy there, and then the rest of the guys, depth, special teamers, etc. And then you look at the safety group, Devin McCourty continuing to be free safety. Then you have Kyle Duggar here, who I think I like what I saw from him on Lenore Ryan. I think he can take Adrian Phillips' spot at strong safety, but Adrian Phillips has that spot still right now, replacing Patrick Chung. Either one who starts, I think, will be pretty okay. I think the secondary is going to be the redeeming factor of this Patriots defense, and hopefully it plays well enough for Bill Belichick, the defensive genius he is, to come up with special blitzes and different alignments to make this defense work. Just looking at it on paper, and I know you can say this most years with the Patriots defense, looking at it on paper, it is really weak. And if Bill Belichick wasn't in charge of it, I would rip it to shreds. But I trust Belichick, so I'm not going to rip it too hard for what it is. but they did lose a lot of players. Now I'm just gonna bring this up just to to show how big it is. They lose Marcus Cannon, starting right tackle, Donta Hightower, starting linebacker, Patrick Chung, starting safety, Matt Lacoste would have been the starting tight end. You lose Brandon Bolden, he's not a huge deal. They lose Marquise Lee. Like those are huge injuries. They're getting hurt definitely the most from these opt-outs out of all of the teams in the league, I think. And so that's not to be understated. And I think that hurts this team a lot. Again, I covered most of them, but just wanted to show you guys how much of an issue it was. So now we can go over to the schedule. And I think the Patriots, they can make the playoffs. And I have them low, but I don't really project they will, because I think other divisions in the AFC are particularly very strong. But I wouldn't be shocked if they came in as that 6th or 7th seed as far as the first round of the playoffs go. I don't really know if you're going to call it the wild card round anymore necessarily, but we'll see. So to start the season, Miami, I think that's very winnable, and I expect the Patriots to win this game. And then Seattle's a toughie, probably a loss. And then the Raiders, I think they can definitely win. Kansas City, probably a loss. And then Denver, young team in Denver. I have the Broncos rated higher than the Patriots, but so it could go either way. I'm just going to lean Patriots right now since it's in Foxborough and it's Bill Belichick. So starting the season 3-2 would be pretty solid, and then it gets pretty brutal. So San Fran and at Buffalo, I think, are probably both losses. That'll drop them to 3-4 in my eyes. At New York, that's a toss-up. It's a Monday night football game in New York. I know they're probably not going to have a crowd there, but who really knows what's going to happen? I honestly think the Jets can probably split with the Patriots. I said that in the Jets video. I'm really low on the Jets, so I think the Jets can probably split with them. But if this starts to spiral here, and it could get ugly fast. If they lose to the Jets and fall to 3-5, their next games, Baltimore, Houston, Arizona, at LA again, having to go home and then straight back there on a Thursday night. Like, what? That's horrible. And at Miami, I think Miami's better. Then you have Buffalo and New York again. So what am I realistically at this team? I see the Patriots winning, like, this is probably one of the smallest ranges I've had, but probably from like anywhere from like 6 to 10. That's not one of the smallest ranges I've had. Like, I wouldn't be shocked if this team falls apart and they just only win 6 games. I also wouldn't be shocked if they won 10 games and were firmly in the playoffs. I'm not going to say 11 wins for them, and I'm not going to say they'll stink up the joint and win 5. So I'm going to go right in the middle. I'm going to predict this team goes 8-8, which is blasphemous that the almighty Patriots wouldn't finish above 500. But I'm going to do it just because of the loss of Tom Brady. And the only reason I have them going 8-8 is because the great Bill Belichick is there coaching them. And I know you can bring up the Matt Castle year and how he worked with the Patriots and they still went 11-5 with him. But I think this roster is a completely different animal than that roster. And so I think 8-8 is what we're looking at for the Patriots. So that's all from me tonight. Hope you guys enjoyed watching this little late night video. It's going to be a speed round of videos coming out. I've been bad about uploading them, but we need to finish them before the season starts on the 10th. Probably even some will come out on the 10th. So they're going to be coming, and they're going to be coming fast, multiple a day for sure. So that's it from me tonight. Thank you guys so much for watching. I've been Mo Sports Network, and I will see you guys next time. So peace out.